Yes. Welcome back, my friends. How are you all doing today? Did you have a good weekend? We managed to pull a couple things off here. Number one, I think we managed to fix the internet. That's one layer. I think that's now officially done. If there are any issues, please contact my technical support and we will get back to you as soon as possible, okay? We'll make sure that that internet connection that we saw on Friday does not occur anymore. If so, feel free to let me know in the chat, all right? Hope you guys are all doing well here. Looking forward to the week. Absolutely been rocking it with you guys here on a daily basis here. This is episode number 57 already of the live day trading streams. I hope you guys are doing well here. Gold is broken out. We have found major support. So what's going on for now? What is going to happen next? And we're going to just keep following our process, keep following up, keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And we'll see how it goes at the end. Looking forward to that. Okay. Let's see what we have with us in the chat today. Welcome back. Let me quickly check the chat real quick before we move further. Going deeper into the what, why, how. Okay. In the meantime, if you could smash up that like button, that would be highly appreciated. I really would appreciate that for, you know, the daily streams, the daily breakdowns, the daily just being here for you guys, making sure that I'm going to be here anyways, spending some time with you personally. Always fun to be around with, having fun with you guys as always. Yes, sir. Today is that giveaway day that we actually were supposed to do on a Friday, but we couldn't pretty much do it on a Friday because you know what happened. So no excuses. I was not trying to leave the stream early because of the giveaway. Okay, just making sure that this is clarified. I was thinking about it all weekend. Like, oh, we ended the stream. No, it's gonna happen today. Okay, you guys are here now watching. Let's make it happen here. Big shout out to Axel for always sticking with us here, my friend Radek. Radek, the man himself. Hope you enjoyed the first session that we had today during the London session, my friend. I hope you really enjoyed it. We have a lot more to come, so I'm looking forward to that. George, my friend, good to see you. Yes, Rex, my friend. Love you from India. Shout out to you, man. Soup Tick. Ole Namavix. Hey, how are you doing, my man? Good to see you. Josh. Yes. Amazing, man. Cross the Axel Road. John is here as well. Lek is here as well here. Yeah, man. I always love to be around the fam. I'm going to call you the fam right now because we have been just going through this thing together. We have been going through it. Absolutely amazing. Tranka, my friend, the man. The legend. Yeah, man. Chat is looking good. Love it. Time for some music, my friends. What do you think? I think so too. All right. Let's make it happen, my friends, to make it a good week. And let's see what we can do today here. Gold is at a very interesting level, by the way, right now. And so is the dollar. So we have a lot of things to discuss. Can't wait for that. Let's get the party started, my friends. Yes, sir. Very good. I Will Follow You by Kaki Jam, my friends. In case you want to know this song, it's a super nice song, actually. We need to add this to the playlist. Such a nice tune. Forgot about it. We need to update the playlist right now. Not right now, but you get the point, okay? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Yes, sir. When is the DJ session coming? Maybe later on, maybe later on. Let me get back into my winning streak before we think about DJing sessions. Let's get this back on track right now, okay? We've been grinding our asses off. We're going through all kinds of streaks. We need to be on top of our grind. We need to be in momentum for that shit. We need to be in momentum to play around, to fuck around. Right now, we need to be locked in. Okay? It's the monthly. It's an incredibly important moment for gold. We have to talk about that because right now, the dollar is also at an incredibly important level on the higher time frame. Have you guys paying attention to this right now? Let me know. Let me know if you have been seeing the higher time frame on the dollar. Maybe you have. If so, yeah, we are at a crucial point. For the euro too, by the way. So, we're gonna figure that out, okay? In the meantime, if you guys could smash up that like button, I would highly appreciate that. Right? It will help the channel grow. We're here for the free education here. We're gonna make sure that you guys are at least getting from my side my daily analysis as well as my framework. Right? The LTA concepts trading, war map, the book. I hope you studied a little bit here. The volume profile, how it works, why we use it, etc., etc. Now it's time to shine again. Okay? Look amazing. Yes. Okay. What's your view of gold? Let's talk about it, my friends. Why is gold pushing up right now? Have you guys noticed the difference? What's happening on Goldie right now at the moment here? Yeah, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. Why is gold pushing up right now? After we saw two major dumps today, if you traded the London session or you traded the Asian session, you actually saw two major dumps. You saw that on gold? Actually kind of interesting right now, okay? So we have to talk about this before we move forward here. High G on the Asian session, it was a book play, the previous daily value area low. It was a decent short. 100%, it was actually a very decent short here, but right now, are we still looking to short again? I put it in our Discord today indeed, and I said, yes, correct. It was a completely, very decent short. I actually shared this with the fam, okay? This is one of the things that we were looking at today, right there in the, throughout the day, pretty much, we were looking at this level right here. Around a 500 pip move. Actually came down much lower after that. We saw a crazy dump today again during the London session, okay? Because we opened into that major zone where all those sellers were active right there. Remember? All those freaking sellers were there. You had that huge dump on a Friday, remember? And then major sellers stepped in at the end, even before in that 4-hour close. It was one of the biggest 4-hour candles we've seen on a Friday ever, right? A major candle from the NFP. Major sell-off. And eventually, most of the selling volume, funny enough, was actually traded at the bottom of that 4-hour candle. That was crazy. So what happened was, the daily market opened, right? On a Monday, it tapped into that daily candle, into that 4-hour candle, and it couldn't break above those sellers right there, which led us, of course, to that rejection right here from, in this case, the previous daily value area low, right there, okay? So we had the daily. You mark out the volume profile from the left to the right. Price came up. It opened the market during the Asian session and it tapped into the previous daily value area low. And then in the previous daily value low, it got rejected. Okay, it got rejected inside of the previous daily value low. And then what happened after that? We sold off deeper. And then after we sold off deeper, we found support here. Okay. And this is where we are bouncing from right now. Now we're kind of bouncing from that area right there, okay? So this is kind of what we're seeing right now. The bounce from a higher time frame level of support. But two major flush outs throughout the Asian session and throughout the London session as well here, confirmed by the order flow as well. So yeah, I must say it was a very aggressive rejection here. And if you want to look on the chart, you can actually see it very, very clearly. You have gold right there, right? The previous daily levels were actually sitting right here. We had the left to the right, and the price opened up, it sold off, and then it came down so hard. Let me actually remove everything. Let me move the VWAP as well. It came down so hard after rejection here that we flushed out the market once and twice. And then after that second flush out, pre-London, we set in the bottom in London, and now we're breaking out higher. Okay, now we are pushing back up again. So that is kind of interesting now, that the fact that we're doing this after that major flush out that we've seen here. We also actually broke above the VWAP right now. Right, we broke above the VWAP. We actually made sure that we created that break of structure. But why did the market react so hard from this level here? This is where we really have to put back and look at the higher time frame in a second right now, okay? Because I want to show you something very important around the dollar. I want to show you something on oil, and I want to show you something on the euro, okay? We talked about it already many times over. We said that gold never moves alone. It always moves because of other instruments right now. Like oil, if oil spikes up, right, there is a fear of inflation. Interest rates will go up, gold will drop. More people are going to look for a safe haven environment, like 10-year yield, etc. So that happened many times over, right? But right now, we can actually see the opposite happening right now. Actually, when we opened up bullish today, on the daily candle, we opened up and we kind of came into that daily or weekly supply zone on the dollar. So the dollar is back at that resistance right now. Took some time. It took weeks to get there. But the dollar has actually arrived there right now. Dollar is in that weekly supply right there, okay? We tapped into that area right here. We tapped into that beforehand. This was weeks ago in March. We sold off, we pulled back. And right now we are in that daily supply. We already have made the support again right around here. So it's not that the dollar is going to shift and it's going to become weak. No, the environment right now is super risk off, okay? Gold is bearish, clearly. But what you can see right now is that we reached a major level of resistance right there, okay? So what you can see right now is that zone. If you look on a weekly and we go back down to the lower time frame, you can actually see on the 1 hour time frame on the dollar that we created a tap. We came down, we created the sweep. So we actually swept those highs one more time. We tapped into that weekly supply and then we sold off right there. So the dollar is pushing back right now. Dollar is pushing down, okay? And this is causing gold to reverse now. Also at the euro, of course, if the dollar is dropping, the euro is going up, okay? And you can see that on the euro right now, you can see very, very clearly that the euro is also at major demand. The euro is at a demand zone, okay? Now, if the euro is going up and the dollar is going down, most of the time it's kind of good for gold that we kind of see that happening, right? Euro is moving up, dollar is moving down. Then what happens usually is that gold follows up with that, okay? Gold gets a little bit of a relief bounce in the short term right now, back to the upside. Okay, so this is what we saw right there on the euro. And if you take this to the 4 hour, you can actually see how the euro right now is reacting. This is the 4 hour time frame on the euro. You can actually see that we're reacting from that support. Right now, the euro is pushing higher. And if you take this to the 50-minute time frame, you can actually see that we broke structure in the short term. We broke the highs. Okay, the lower low and a higher high. Okay, so the question now will be, what happens if we pull back? Will we get supported and move up for a little bit of a deeper pullback? Right, maybe for a larger continuation down? Or will this just be a fake move right now? Will this just be another fake move for another push towards the downside, right? That is something that we're trying to figure out. But right now, at the moment, you can see that we are at that support for that exact region, right around there. If you don't take that to gold, and we go to the daily time frame, let me know where we are, my friends. Where are we on gold right now? I hope you guys can see it at this current moment. I hope you guys can see it clearly. This is the daily on gold right now, okay? This is the daily time frame on gold. We were kind of watching this level right here for a while. Specifically this area. You see that? This zone right there. Kind of watching this level for a while, okay? The 4,300. You see that gold smack through that? And again, this is where we are reacting from at this current moment right now as well. You see that? So this is still bearish territory. We're in a bearish trend. So this is that major supply that has been created now on gold. We are clearly bearish in the higher time frame, okay? And if you take this to the dollar, even though the dollar is in that supply, we can still see that the dollar has a zone of interest, support as well right there, okay? But now we're pulling back. That's the question. Now we're pulling back. Now you see that the gold is actually reacting from it. You can actually see that gold is reacting kind of hard from that bottom because we swapped the lows today twice, okay? If you go to the gold spot chart, right around here, let's go to gold spot. Then you can actually see that we had resistance. We had that support here on the daily. So many times over. Look at that. So many times. Look at that reaction. Let's take it back. Again, support. Let's take it back. Look at where we are. We are back at that daily support as well here. So you can see that right now we are in that major resistance at the moment right now for gold. Support for gold in the short term. Even though the daily trend is still bearish, and even though we will find major resistance already back at that daily supply zone right around there, okay? This is just literally, this took us literally like 5 minutes to go over everything we need to look at from the higher time frame perspective on the dollar, right? On oil, on the euro, and on gold right now. So I hope that makes sense kind of from the perspective of where gold is currently at. Now, if you take that back down to the lower time frame, let's say we are back at that daily support there and we're breaking structure now. That means that the higher time frame tapped into support. The higher time frame, the dollar was in resistance. And the lower time frame right now is actually breaking resistance. It's actually reversing. It's actually giving us a little bit of a lower low kind of formation, right? And a higher high breakout right now. So what happened in today's session, if you take the volume profile from today, or from the swing high to the swing low, we're trading above the Sunday open, and we're trading above the point of control, right? We're trading above the area where most of the volume was executed today, right? In this whole down push, that swing point of control, okay? So my question is, guys, what will happen if price comes back to that swing point of control here? Is there a chance that we'll find support in the short term? And is there a chance that we can make a little bit of a deeper pullback, giving us room for the dollar to potentially come back down towards that support right there on the higher time frame, giving us room for gold to go back to that resistance on the higher time frame, giving room for gold, sorry, for the euro to pull back to that resistance, right, on the higher time frame? And is there a chance that because right now on the lower time frame we're creating an internal shift, that we can make a deeper pullback for a potential larger continuation to the downside after that? Hope that makes sense so far. And the reason why we're looking at the higher time frame allows us to give us an indication on the lower time frame. Okay? So therefore, if you now look and you put on the VWAP as well, let's put on the VWAP as well here. Let's make sure that we have also the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. You can see that this is the first time after a while that we kind of broke back above this. Okay, so you can see that over that level right now, the point of control is actually a super important line or level that I think we have to look at in case we pull back. Okay, why? We broke structure, we tapped to higher time frame support, price broke out, we're now above the point of control. What happens if you pull back? Is there a chance that we're going to go and retest the zone or potentially tap into this range, find short-term support and go for, let's say, the daily high? Something like that, okay? This is just a short-term move for a potential long-term continuation because the sentiment is still bearish. The sentiment is still risk off. The dollar looks still extremely strong. All of these things are aligned right now on the higher time frame, but in the short term, is there a chance that we might pull back at this current moment? Now that we're bouncing off of support, is gold gonna make a retracement? And don't forget as well, by the way, that we actually swapped the lows aggressively today twice. We had this right here, and then we started range, and we swapped it one more time, so much volume. And then we broke back above that, you know what I mean? And then after that, if you look at the order flow on the 4 hour, what happens in general is in those sweeps to the downside, a lot of people are selling. You see that? A lot of people right here are still selling, selling, selling. And a lot of people were selling, and price just closed above those sellers as well here. So all the sellers become trapped in their position right now. So that's why that pullback is actually right into that point of control level that we talked about right there as well, right? That's kind of the idea. If price could pull back and it holds these sellers, is there a chance that we're going to try at least to pull back into the zone again that we started at today, the daily highs pretty much, where we created the highs today? Is there a chance that here we could pull back towards these highs? Potentially go from there, okay? So let's see if this is possible. In my opinion, I think it makes sense to me. Okay, let me know what you think in the chat. If you're aligned with me, if you are bearish for now, continuation to the downside, or if you say, yeah, that makes sense, I think that we could make a little bit of a deeper pullback towards the daily highs, at least to then potentially see if we could come higher. But the higher time frame is still bearish. We need to at some point come lower in order for us to continue this overall sentiment right now. We have not seen a complete shift yet. This is not the bottom by any way, means, shape, or form. This is just right now the pullback that we kind of been looking for the retracement towards the more, in my opinion, higher probability short setups that will come later if we make a little bit of a pullback right now, okay? Because we're at support, we are reacting, the dollar is at resistance. If price now, for example, let's say comes back up and we get back towards that resistance, I think we'll find some really good short opportunities again from that level for potential follow-through continuation. But we cannot neglect that right now we are here. We have everything online. And now we're looking for a short-term kind of reaction. So to me, a higher low on the lower time frame seems to be something that I will be interested in to see if we could potentially pull back, starting at the VWAP, upon a control, to see if we could actually make a reaction back to the very low of yesterday again. That is pretty much the daily high. Okay? Well, that makes sense, my G's. Yes. Also could just range in the daily. It could also just range. I agree. But what we want is that gold you get the point, right? Yeah. You get the point. You get the point. Right there. Also, my friends, okay, in terms of the giveaway today, we'll have we're gonna give away one FundedNext challenge. We're gonna do this later on during the stream. I think it's time right now. We're supposed to do this on a Friday, but Friday I had some issues with my internet and shit. Terrible way to end, but nothing I could do about it. I'll try literally every little detail to make the stream work, but somehow it stopped working. And funny enough, we were looking for longs, and that was the moment we bounced up as well. Super annoying. But yeah, absolutely. Previous daily very low is the Asian high. That is correct. Yes. Previous daily very low is the Asian high. Okay. Pretty much the Asian high. The Asian high starts at 9. But in essence, you could see that this is how the market opened up. It's at the top wick of the candle in. The daily candle. Okay. And that's where the top wick of the daily candle is sitting right now. Exactly. Exactly. The Asian highs, round about the Asian highs. The daily highs. The previous daily lows, the very lows, things like that. Okay? Yeah. Absolutely. Where's the, let me fix this real quick. There we go. Yes. By the way, you are a good author. Love your book. Amazing, man. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. We talked about the swing point of control. It's actually something that we're looking for right now. I agree. It's something that we're actually looking for right now. If we can make that pullback, would be nice if we could make a pullback today. Let's see. We're still operating. We're going to find major resistance, by the way, again, later up. It's not that far away, but it's sitting at the daily highs. Okay? So if those daily highs get swept and price breaks down again, okay, so the daily highs goes up. Let's say we are actually pushing up today. We break the highs and we fall back inside and we start looking weaker here. There is a chance that the deeper pullback will come as well again, okay? So I will also definitely pay attention to the daily highs. If we can get to the daily highs as well and we start seeing weakness, then I also think that gold could potentially make some sort of a pullback as well. Back down, right? A little bit lower. A little bit lower. Back towards the downside right there. Okay? Oh, that makes sense right there. So we broke out. If the price breaks down again, then you understand kind of why. We broke out, we pull back, we react, and then we'll see maybe some more weakness. But for now, the higher time frame is definitely showing us where we need to be. Okay? Yes. Let's see. Let's see. What I'm actually thinking about is letting this variation cool down a little bit back to like the 0. If price can come back to the point of control, or this area right here, this box that I have, okay? It's actually a very nice box to look at, okay? Because this is a buyer's zone on gold, in my opinion, right now, okay? And on gold spot, I don't know exactly what level that is. We're gonna mark this out right now. Let's do this. We're gonna mark out that buyer's zone as well here. I think it is the high to the low, right there. And then we have a gap, okay? It's sitting right below. We'll just mark this out right here. Yeah, pretty much there, right? Pretty much there. Yeah. Like the 4306. Pretty much. 4306. Yeah. But watch what happens if we get to up already. If we push up higher and we get towards that daily low, a daily high, and we start seeing weakness, I think it's also an important zone to really, really pay attention to. Right around there, okay? Yeah, right around there. Yes. There we go. Trump says shorts are getting smoked today. Let's see what Trump says. Let's see what Trump comes up with. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens there. Okay? Absolutely. Yes. Was this for institutions to build up a major sell later on, like on the core CPI? Well, we already saw major sells today. Actually, during the London session and the Asian session, we had two of these aggressive flush outs. Yeah, we were actually looking at this right here in our group. I shared this beforehand. We had this rejection. We were kind of overvalued. We tapped into the previous day very low. And then we were in this major box of sellers with so much volume. So hard to break that level. Such strong resistance at the daily highs right now. We have really strong resistance here. Okay. We might try to break higher, but if we fall back within it, that's actually kind of bearish signal. Okay. That means that we cannot break that resistance again. And that means that we will probably be looking to short it again to the downside if we can get up there. But in the meantime, we broke above some critical support. We are bounced from higher time for support. If you pull back now, it's definitely worth looking for a buy, in my opinion. But yeah. There we go. You see, it's already getting up earlier. So fortunately, if you now pull down, we're not gonna go to that level. But you can see already, if price pushes up, we get towards that zone. That makes also sense as well, right? In case we pull back. Dollar only has to pull back towards this area, okay? And if it's there, and if the dollar pulls back, and if gold comes with that, down with that, then I think we're going to see some strong reactions as well. So we're going to pay attention to the daily highs, which are pretty much around this area, okay? We have to watch this. We have to watch this as well. Yeah. Hello, Lorenzo. Why don't you put a sell position if you believe the buyer zone is under and the global trend is bear? Because we could easily go back, now that we have trapped those sellers, we could easily try to test those areas. Easily try to go for the daily highs first. We could easily try to squeeze up towards the daily highs at around, what, 9. And if price stepped into that zone, we got rejected from that area. Then we got rejected from there, right? We could easily squeeze up and then come down, for example. So that's why. For me, shorting right now is not really something that I'd like to see. Same thing for the dollar. The dollar doesn't look that strong at the moment, right? Look at the dollar. Dollar kind of selling off. Yeah. I'm never really trying to anticipate on the market, by the way, right? I'm not trying to say we're gonna push down now. Right here, we're gonna move down, we're gonna move up. Just marking out scenarios. If, for example, if price does this and we get rejected and we pull back, I'll look to short, okay? Because the overall trend is still bearish, and that means we'll tap into this higher time frame zone. If price does the opposite and price comes down, knowing that we're at higher time frame support, dollar is a resistance, right? Then I'll look to buy potentially for that reaction towards that zone. Okay? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Were you in on that when it was up there, when it went all the way down? Did you make money? Yes. Do you know where I can get it funded for an account? Well, actually today we're going to do a giveaway, man. If you're patient, then we'll maybe you win it. You maybe win an account instead. So I would wait a couple of minutes. That's an hour. Maybe you get it. Maybe you get it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. But we're gonna give away some accounts right now. One account right now. Yeah. I promised to do it on a Friday already. I promised to do this on a Friday, but I did not. Couldn't do it. Hi Lorenzo, quick question. Do you know how to remove those blue lines? Yes. You go to settings. You go to... I think you're seeing the... What are you seeing? Not the event, not the session breaks, right? Try this first. Try to see if it's this one. Okay. And if it's not that one, then I think you're talking about the electronic trading hours background. So you go to symbol, and then you make sure that this is completely off. Otherwise you get this. Okay? I think this is what you're talking about, correct? Okay, symbol, electronic trading hours background, or event session breaks, you turn it off. Yeah? That should work. That should do the job. Yes. Why do you think this is going to be a bottom? Well, short term, we talked about it before, right? We had that sweep twice today. We failed to set in a new low. We broke structure to the upside. We broke above the point of control, the red line. A lot of volume traded there during the day. And we're above the VWAP as well. And the dollar is in that higher time frame resistance right now. Okay, we're in that weekly supply zone. This is on the weekly time frame. We're in a major resistance. And gold right now is at support. Euro is at support. Oil is at resistance. Okay, so we're looking for like a larger continuation on gold. But in order for that, we need to kind of pull back. Okay, if we pull back and we break down again, then we could be continuing gold right now further towards the downside, right? We have this major resistance sitting there still. We're still bearish on the trend. The trend itself is bearish. We're kind of in a risk-off environment, right? People are buying dollars. Dollar's super strong. The market is super uncertain. Oil is still moi, right? There is no certainty around Iran yet. So as long as that's the case, we're in a risk-off environment, right? So I take higher time frame resistance on gold now. Super serious. But at the same time, we also understand that if we're at support, like this on gold right now, we have been here multiple times in a row. We're now here again, okay? And we break structure internally, and we kind of sweep those lows, right here, right, multiple times, and we failed to set in a lower low, and we break structure aggressively. That becomes very interesting when you are in higher time frame support and the dollar is in higher time frame resistance, right? But that is the main reason why I would be looking at something like this right now, okay? When we pull back, all right? If we pull back right there, that would be something I would be looking for. And also, we still have that undervaluation right here. Oh, major sellers here, but also so much selling there, man. So much selling. But if there's so much selling and price is not breaking down, that answers a question right now for us. Like, oh, there's so much selling, but price is not breaking down. Price is holding. Right? Price is respecting those levels. It's kind of holding those zones. So we're paying attention to this as well right now, right? Now we're kind of putting that together. And this allows me to potentially buy gold in a pullback. This is where the big resistance is at, though, on gold. So we're going to really pay attention to what happens if we're there. And that's kind of at the daily highs right now. Why is this big resistance? Because that's where the NFP candle, the 4-hour NFP candle came in right here. And all that volume that was traded, 81,000 contracts off that NFP candle, which is a lot of contracts. It's really, 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 really high. Most of the volume in that candle was traded here. And if you mark out a line and look at how that became resistance. That's gold. This is the gold chart with all the orders inside of the gold chart, okay, on the 4-hour time frame. So you can kind of see how this chart represents that resistance. That amount of volume traded there. And all the time we tapped into it, we got rejected, rejected, rejected. But now we have a lot of sellers that can't get through either. So you're in between these two zones. That's what I'm saying. We might now potentially pull back, get deeper into this zone. And if we fail, I think we're just going to either try to continue down, right? Potentially here, and try to come down again. But in order to get down, we need to maybe push up, try to push into that, and then potentially sell off. But if we pull down, I will give it a try, knowing that the dollar now is where it's at in that higher time frame resistance right now. Dollar has been really having a hard time now that we're back in this area on the weekly time frame. It's actually kind of strong. And actually on the daily, you can see the rejection here. On the 30-minute, you can actually see that we ranged, we broke the highs, making people believe we're going to go higher. And then we flipped the lows and we broke down. So I just want to make sure that we have this range. This will become a level of resistance for the dollar as well on the lower time frame. So we'll pay attention to all of those levels and all of those areas. If guys can pull back, then that will be amazing. Did you recover your laptop? Not yet. Nope, not yet. Good question, but nope. I did not recover my laptop. Okay. But it's in the making. It's getting fixed. It's getting fixed. Okay. The laptop is getting fixed. It falls under the guarantee, I guess. So that's the good part of it. Okay. Yeah, that's a good part. Okay. Are you still going with 1 to 2 like before? Yes, usually. But not all the time. Depends on the market. The market has shifted a lot lately. So it depends on what trend. If we're counter trend, I would not say so. If we're trading with the trend, I would say so. Yeah. Yeah, it's indeed so crazy that so many people are selling here. But of course, it makes a lot of sense as well. Because that selling, you know, is super aggressive. Also, you see a lot of buyers stepping in here, also getting crushed during the Asian session. So it's both sides right now, right? It's not just sellers, it's also buyers here that stepped in. Because the candle opened bullish, right? The candle itself opened bullish. And then we saw buyers stepping in. And then we tapped into the higher time frame NFP candle. And then we sold off, right? We sold off. And then all the sellers came in. And now we closed above it again. So now those sellers are stuck too. Okay, so we're in between those two zones. The daily high, which is sitting right here. The Asian high. And the London lows, I would say. Right there. Oh, the London lows. Yeah. Are you planning to do an Asian session soon? I think so, yeah. I actually think that I'm willing to do an Asian session as well. I have been thinking about this for a while because I've been also trading the Asian sessions as well. And I have been thinking about doing the Asian sessions. Yeah. So I'm actually considering doing this now. Because also, man, I'm looking at the Asian sessions. I'm like, wow, the markets are so clean. It's crazy. Like the Asian session is just so freaking clean. Like you don't really have to worry too much about the news. There is still news. But it's not as like random, like as evident, as impactful as it is during the New York session as well. Less manipulation for sure. But I mean, still manipulation, but you just need to get it, right? We need to look at the order flow, etc. There are a lot of things to see there. But yeah, definitely interested in the Asian session, man. Absolutely. I'm not sure if you guys will be interested in that. I would definitely be interested in the Asian session, to be honest. I would definitely be absolutely interested in trading the Asian session now. Because I've been making the most money in Asia. So why shouldn't I stream that, right? Live. It will be a waste. It will be an absolute waste right now not to do that. And for me, it's in the morning. I'm not really a morning person, so I'm not going to be that high energy. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll figure that out with music and stuff. I think that will help. Yeah. Yeah, if I'm going to do the A session, I'm going to do the A session this week. Okay? Yeah. Maybe tomorrow. Wednesday, sir. Wednesday. Wednesday morning. For me, morning. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we're going to... Let's actually commit to this. Let's take the Asian session on a Wednesday in the morning. Yeah, for me in the morning, okay? Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to do the Ace session. That's good. I need some coffee, though. A double shot espresso. Because I'm actually not really a morning person. I'm like, you know, I like to be by myself. I don't like people talk to me in the morning too much. Just a little bit, okay? Because my brain goes full port. My brain goes full port in the evening. And you have to understand this, okay? I'm at the streams with you guys. Okay, right now it's for me, right, what? Like 9 p.m. Okay? Sometimes I'm streamed till like 9 and like 11 p.m., 12 a.m. Right? My brain cannot shut off right away after the stream. I'm full of like energy after the stream because I've been yapping for so long, right? Then what happens is, the moment I'm actually there, the stream is finished, I'm like full of energy. I'm like, let's go. What are we going to do next? What's up? What's popping? And everyone is already sleeping. Everyone wants to go to bed. I'm like, yes, let's go. Full port, full energy. So I'm trying to chill down, you know, watch a podcast, like relax. It still takes time for me to relax, you know, because my brain is going full port. The moment I'm finally sleeping, okay, I'm relaxed. But then I have to wake up early again, right? For the Asian session, etc. So I need more time to wake up. Okay? My brain goes full port. But anyways, we're going to do the Asian session on a Wednesday. It's time. Let's make it happen. Okay. At the same time, it seems that this move for gold doesn't look that super strong. Right now, we're creating higher highs on the price and lower lows on the valuation index. So that shows actually that the gold is kind of losing a bit of that momentum. So hopefully gold drops. If it doesn't drop, at least let's go up. Let's get back towards that same zone on the 4-hour time frame. Right here. And yeah, let's sweep the daily highs or something. I don't know. Let's sweep the daily highs here. and reverse. Something like that. Like, let's do something like that. Take out daily highs, break structure, look weaker, still slowing down, and then just trying to recap a potential pullback. That would be scenario B I would be looking for if that's the case. But yeah. It's interesting to know that we are now where we are right now with gold, because yeah, we always understand that, you know, what comes up must come down, what comes down must go up. You know, gold has been dropping so hard, and we swept the lows today twice. Asian session swept the lows, and the London session swept the lows until we filled and tapped into the higher time frame support. And that kind of changed everything from a gold perspective right now, knowing that we're here and that we're strongly reactive from that support right there. And that overall the trend is bearish and the sentiment is risk off, so we're still bearish, but we're a bit oversold now. It seems like we're a bit oversold. But yeah. Dollar doesn't seem to gain any momentum at the moment. That's true. That's sure. GMBS says, I took the previous daily POC in Asia. It was beautiful. Thank you. Amazing. Yeah, congrats. That's actually very good. Sometimes, by the way, right? I just want to clarify this as well. If you use the volume profile, it can be a little bit annoying, but sometimes your, you know, the very low, for example, for some people, it can be the point of control if you use it on the gold spot chart. Okay, the levels might difference a little bit. So this is why I prefer personally to look at the futures chart for my volume profile. And if I then trade spot, gold on the spot chart, like Xau Usd, then I like to just execute on that platform, right? I wait for like the futures chart to give me the confirmation, and then I look at gold spot, and then I'll execute. Then I kind of know for sure that we're dealing with the right levels. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, man. Yeah, Wednesday, Asian session. Looking forward to it. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I've been waiting for this one for a while. But okay, gold is dropping right now. Yeah, that valuation is showing it kind of right now that we're slowing down. Higher highs, lower lows. So let's see if we can back down to that equilibrium on gold. Yeah. Why is it interesting to look at the pullback? Well, the interesting reason is because we have these two trapped sellers sitting there. This becomes a very important level. It's actually at the point of control. It's the VWAP point of control. It's also the low volume node inside of this area. So we have definitely some interesting levels, but all the sellers are going to be acting as support. And the sellers from Friday's NFP session with high volume is still acting as major resistance. But that resistance is there. That's the resistance, okay? The resistance is sitting right here. The daily high. Yeah. So for me, shorting now would be moi in the middle. It's possible, but I would say I prefer to sweep the highs of the day and then reverse again and sell off. If you look for longs, I would prefer to pull back towards at least the point of control. But at least the point of control would be nice if you could get there and then book. It allows us to cool off a little bit. Look for the rejection right now. I'm actually gonna maybe share my, I'm actually gonna place a limit order soon because I think it makes sense. I would buy there anyways. So I'm actually gonna do that because I wanted to buy there regardless around this area. And I would place my stop loss somewhere around the lows again. And I would target, of course, the daily highs, right? The sell limits right there. I would target something like that. But I'm not going to do this for now. But you know, you get the point. Yeah. Do you have a Telegram channel where you share vital information? I don't have any Telegram. Right now, we are also closed with our group. I'm going to be closed for the next 6 weeks. So I literally have nothing to offer you. Nothing. Okay. We're closed now again. We have the group. We're working with the group. We had our first session today. We were packed. It was amazing. I hope they enjoyed it. If so, if they are in the chat right now, then I would love to hear that from them. If they enjoyed the session today, the introduction session. But no, man, for the next 6 weeks, there is nothing here that I can offer you right now, except for the live streams. All right? Except for the live streams themselves. So that's it. Nothing. Live streams and the free book that you can download right here, my friend. Okay? The ebook. The only book that I've written in my life. Yes. I always wanted to write a book in my life. I always was like, you know what? If I can write a book, it's something new in this industry. No one really writes books anymore. I'm like, you know, I'm a pretty young guy, right? I'm not old. I'm not like super old. I'm not young. I'm not old, right? I'm in my early 30s. Okay. So I was like, what can I do to provide value to the industry? I can sell course. I can make a lot of content and, you know, be like a guru, influencer type guy. I could do like that if I want to. You know, show my villa in Bali. Right? My X amount of money villa in Bali. You know what I mean? Things like that. I could do that, or I could write a book. I could write a book. So I took my time off for a year to write a book. And it was an absolute hard time. It is hard to write a book. It's very tough. It's very tough to write a book. It's very boring. Because you think, oh, the book itself, I'll just write a book. I'm just going to type and that's it. No, you create a book. You need to revise it 10 times. This is wrong, that is wrong. Then it doesn't make any more sense. You lose inspiration. You need to come back. You put it all together. Then you need to design it with a team. They're going to put in tremendous amount of work. Man, it's like, yeah, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you are into real estate, by the way, people say, oh, like, you have to be in Dubai and blah, blah, for real estate. Well, the thing with Dubai right now is pretty tough, right? The real estate market, the Dubai stuff right now, I think I heard stories that it actually dropped around 70%, okay? Spoke to one of my clients right now. He said, yo, real estate right now, I rented out my Airbnb for $3,000 a month. I'm not going to say his name, but $3,000 a month. And right now I can only rent it out for $1,000 a month. How crazy is that? So their rent, I would say, you know what I mean? The rent itself got cut by what, 70%? Whereas in Bali, I know villas right now, right? Like a villa like this, for example, right? At first you could rent it for $3,000-$4,000 a month. Now it's double. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Just for curiosity, in Chengdu, do you have a scooter or a car? No, I have a driver. Okay. I have a driver. You don't need, here in Bali, you need a driver. You don't need a car, you need a driver. You need to chill out. You need to be in a van, in a black van. You need to put up your legs. And you need to have your laptop. And you need to just focus on your work. Don't look at the traffic. Forget the traffic. Don't look outside. Just, if you're in the car and you have your driver, just work. Just do the regular thing. Put in your laptop, put it into plug and play. Put in the internet connection. And work. Like you would work when you work at home. And don't look at the traffic. Otherwise you go crazy. Yeah. Chad, if you're 30, you call it old, but that at 30 is young. Weird Chad, you are young to your heart extent. Yes. I don't feel old at all. I feel like I'm in my mid, you know, I feel like I'm 20. Even though I'm 30. I feel like I'm 20. You don't really change after that. Yeah, I don't even think it will ever change. I think same thing happens when you're 40. You always feel younger. So you really need to enjoy your life. You really need to enjoy your time spent with the people around you. And the problem that you face a lot when you're trying to become a trader, and this is a problem that I discovered myself as well, is that you are very disconnected from the world. And you tend to isolate yourself also from the world because, you know, you live in your own little bubble. And one of my goals in the near future, not now, is to get out of that bubble. Okay? I still have a couple things to do, but I hope you get the point. In the end, it's all about connection, man. Connection with the right people around you. I think that causes true fulfillment. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Are you planning to open a Telegram group? Maybe. Maybe in the future. Like a free Telegram group. For now, not yet. Maybe in the future though. Come to Dubai? Maybe later, yeah. I actually was thinking about going to that Forex Expo. It was a long time ago. And I've been once. It was actually really fun. So I would love to go again, actually. Yeah. All right, the gold is dropping now. We kind of wanted to see this because if we're creating lower lows on the valuation index and higher highs on the price, then usually you will see some sort of reaction. You see gold weakening a little bit. That's actually what I would love to see now. Keep in mind as well, right, that the New York Stock Exchange opens up as well soon. We're gonna see some volume. Yeah. We're going to see some volume coming in. It's actually wild how we today swept the lows twice. Today we swept the lows twice. It happened 2 times in a row where we opened up. This is today's candle. The weekly open, we created the high. And then the high got rejected from that 4-hour resistance. in this zone right here. A big red cell. We got rejected there. A lot of people started buying there, and then that turned into resistance. And then we started to sell off. We swept the lows twice. Created a higher low. Now we're breaking up. At the same time, it was time for gold to squeeze out a lot of people right now. Specifically, a lot of sellers as well right now. You can see that we tapped into that zone, and we're actually now finally at some daily support. And this is also the first time in a long time that the dollar is back at higher time for resistance. That's clean. That's clear. The weekly is a very clear example of the dollar right now, because the dollar is has been going up for the past, no, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Pretty much. And every time when it happened in the last 5 weeks, the dollar came up, gold just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. But now we are finally back at that major drop-off point where the dollar came from. So we had that indecisive candle here on the weekly. And then we had that huge sell-off here on the dollar. And then we came back into this. And right now, we're kind of getting rejected there. So it's been finally a moment of rejection again, of serious resistance on the dollar. And of course, we know that what happened on the daily when the NFP came out, super bullish. We retested this right here. We closed above it, we retested it, and we came up. So the dollar is still super bullish on the higher time frame. But we kind of want to see the pullback right now, right, towards this zone, right? We really want to see the pullback towards this area. See if the dollar can trade into this zone. Continue whatever it needs to do, like the trend itself. Maybe tries to go higher again, right? Push up further. But we're looking to see if the dollar can make a little bit of a pullback now that we have reached that higher time frame resistance. And I think it's time for the euro to do something similar right now. If you go to the EURUSD, I think the euro is of course there as well. We are a major support now finally for the euro. The euro has been dropping aggressively as well, just as hard as the dollar came up. And also the euro right now is at that level of interest. So we can see that the euro right now is also recovering. Right, it created the range right here. Then we saw the manipulation today during the London session. And now we're seeing the expansion here to the upside. So if the euro can make a retracement, push into this range and create a higher low now, then we can make at least a little bit more of a pullback before we sell off again, right? Something like that. That would be amazing, because that will allow gold to give us also, again, some really clean sell setups and sell confirmations later on. Okay, this also counts for the dollar. This also counts for, for the euro, because the euro will find already major resistance when we're back at that area where we came from, which we actually broke right there. We'll find major resistance already right there, right? But in order to get there, we need to kind of create what we call a CME play, right? The consolidation, manipulation, the expansion, and retracement, and maybe the pullback we're looking for. So let's see if this is possible for the euro to do. And if that happens with the euro, then most likely you'll see gold following up with this as well here. So that would be nice to see. Story says Dubai is awesome. It's getting pretty hot. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's pretty hot there. Here in Bali, it's pretty cold now, actually. It actually has been like winter. It's like winter here right now. Winter means 28 degrees Celsius. Freezing. Have you ever thought about going to Dubai? Live in Dubai, I mean. I have thought about it many times. But yeah, I mean, I like to be in Dubai for a while. Just hang around. and come back somewhere else and then come back later again. I like the transits a lot, like, you know, meeting a couple guys that I want to see, etc. I have a lot of friends there, of course, that I know that are all living in Dubai. So yeah. Why is your stop loss not under the daily lows? I don't think it's really needed. I think we have a lot of support around there. Like, we want to be below this level, in my opinion, right? If you can stay below this level, stop loss should be below the zone. So I think 43.07 on futures is, like, I think, a good price for my stop loss right there. Yeah. I'm not sure how big it is, but like the target is actually much bigger. It's actually like a 2-to-1 if you could get there. Yeah, I think the volume is going to come when the New York Stock Exchange opens up. So we have 10 minutes left. So hopefully we get down towards our zone of interest. If not, then you kind of have to wait for price to get up there. And then it's another lay. Then we have to wait what happens there when the daily highs are taken out. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we're going to have some fun during the Asia session, though, Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to it, actually, now I'm thinking about it. It's been my first Asia session. I've never done an Asia session, I think, before. Have I? Maybe once in my life I've done an Asia session. It's been a long time ago. That's for sure. The thing about Asia is, what I like about Asia so much is because you can use the context of the previous day super well. You can always use the context of how the daily candle closed and where the most volume has been traded. And usually you pull back to like the previous daily, point of control, the very low. You pull back to any of those levels and then the day starts. So you actually have always the development of the daily candle at the beginning. And I think there are a lot of opportunities in the development of a candle. Right? Usually what happens in then Asia plays out and then London kind of manipulates and then New York is kind of either like, especially now, right? Ranging or, you know, it makes some crazy moves and then it makes the move. So yeah, I think that actually is a pretty good idea to do, man. I'm really excited for that. It's been a long time. And if it works, the Asia sessions, if it like is like a nice way of doing it, for me, it's like streaming in the morning is a completely different situation than streaming at night. That's for sure. Yeah. Maybe stream in Asia a bit later though. Not like early. But like 10 p.m. EST. I think. Let's see. We'll see. Yeah, something like that. If it wasn't for... I missed out on the buys. Why there? Yeah, watch my analysis. I went through that all. It's pretty much has to do with a couple different layers. The dollar, oil, gold right now, the euro. Look at the euro as well. The euro is pumping. The euro is going for it today after that sweep of the lows. So yeah, we're definitely at an interesting area as well. But I think at some point we have to make a bit of a pullback. But I would not be surprised if the euro does something like this. We have a lower low, higher high, higher low, and then boop. And we are in higher time frame support on the euro as well. So I hope that the euro will continue to push the dollar down or put the dollar under pressure. And if then we make a bit of a pullback on the dollar now, like this, it's the same thing on the dollar, right? The dollar created a higher high. And then a lower low. And we tapped into weekly supply. So if the dollar sweeps the highs and it breaks down and it pulls back and it can't break the range, then we might sell off back towards the origin of the NFP move, right? Where the NFP came from, that big impulse to the upside. These big vector candles, they tend to be recovered or they can be recovered. So if price comes back down to fill up that vector candle, pulling back to support, maybe that causes gold to give us that push that we need for a bit of a pullback trade, for a larger push down later on. Once the dollar is back at the NFP lows, for potential push higher again, for gold potentially to push lower again and continue the daily trend to the downside, right? Yeah. Shut up, bro. We know that you're not a morning person. That is true. That is true. Can you share a chart? I like your team. Yeah. There we go. Body. This one. This one. Borders, this one. This one. The same. The wicks, this one. Okay. And then the background. This one. And this one. Okay. Here you go, man. Lorenzo, gold on spot is reacting from the Sunday open. Yeah, I know. We have support there already, right? But we're a little bit overstretched still. I really want gold to drop down a little bit. I think that when the New York Stock Exchange opens up, I hope we create some sort of manipulation or something back down. Not too deep, but a little bit of a manipulation back down. If we already push up higher, then we have to really watch the daily highs instead, right? We have to really watch it. Yeah. I will be totally in for Asian sessions. Love that, man. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to join an Asian session. I'm not even sure if people actually can, like, if my audience is actually made for it, to be honest, because I've been streaming in New York for so long. But the thing is, man, I've seen the opportunities in Asia. And it's just getting out of hand right now. These opportunities are actually incredible. Incredible opportunities in the market. So yeah, it's super worth to try. Give it a go as well. Okay, New York Stock Exchange is opened up right now, so do take that in consideration. With the price is pushing higher and the valuation is giving us lower lows. So I think the moment the dollar finds a bit of support, we might dump. Okay, so this is something that we have to be aware of. And yeah, if price does shoot up, then we know what to do when we are there. Just have to be paying a lot of attention to this 4-hour zone. We cannot neglect this area. The daily highs. The crazy part is I remember a time when Asia was just doing nothing. Asia was just like, Asia was the session that no one wanted to trade, pretty much. Asia was the session where you get nothing out of it. Usually it was like this. If this is Asia, then Asia was like this, okay? And then it was actually super simple. Then the London came, and then the only thing that you had to focus on was the Asian high or low in a small range. And if then the Asian low was taken out, right? It took out the Asian low. And you start to see reversal patterns coming fruition. You took out and you went to the Asian highs. Okay? And then the London maybe continued higher. And then the New York came. Okay? And then the New York session was like the big session. That either continued to follow through. Okay? And then New York continued and created that big move. Or it was like the London session, for example, took out the the Asian highs, and price came back into that area, and then New York followed through, right, for the large dump. The New York was always the big event of the day. The London session was always where the most like manipulation happened from Asia, and the Asian session was usually just like that smaller, you know, kind of range type of orientation, right? That accumulation, you know, not much was happening. Like that was the Asian session before. At this moment, every Asian session that I've seen, okay, consists of consistent lower time frame, at least lower lows, lower highs, higher lows, lower lows, lower highs, or higher highs, higher lows. Like really consistent, okay? And it has been for days, if not for weeks right now. So craziness, how things are shifting. Yeah. Crazy. I remember, man. I think I've done like an. This was my strategy. Like I think I actually have it. Let me see if I can find it now for you guys. Man, this was years ago, so don't laugh at me. But this was a long time ago, where I was trading this strategy with gold, and I think the euro USD, some euro pairs. If I can find it. Yeah, Asian session was like the worst session, but now it is definitely the best session, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was actually how you traded at the time. I remember it so well. It was something that was just like very well to trade. You could just trade this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Let's see if I can find it. I'm actually looking for it right now. Yeah, it was pretty much like this. Okay. Yeah, I still have it. So crazy. It was pretty much like this. Okay. So what was that strategy right there? Okay. It was pretty much. It was super easy. Not easy, but like you had the Asian session, right? Asia. I think right there. I think that was the only thing that we needed right there at the time. So you had like the Asian session right here. It was the Asian session. That was the Asian range. That is the Asian range, right? Price was in a range. And then the London came and it swept the highs. And if it came back into that range, right? And we start to see weakness. And the higher time frame trend was clear. We just shorted back towards the Asian lows. And you took a 1-to-1. That's it. Simple. 1 to 1.19 to 1. Right? 70% win rate. That's it. 1.2 to 1, 70% win rate. And just kept doing this. And that was just the one thing that you've done. Asian session, range, London manipulation, New York continuation. That was pretty much it. As far as I can remember. Yeah. The good days. The good times. All right, so we're pushing up already, right? So if we're pushing up to the daily highs right now, and we kind of fail to take out the daily or pull back, then this is of course the most important level to watch right now, the daily highs, right? Specifically the 81, because that's where the major resistance will be. The 81, roughly speaking. If you take out the daily highs and you close above this strong on the 4 hour, yeah, that means that we're probably gonna try to all the way pull back towards the 47, right? All the way back, which makes sense if you look at it on the higher time frame. That pullback is pretty much the pullback towards this resistance, right? On the daily time frame. That's it. Nothing more than that. It looks like a big move, but it's actually just a pullback into that resistance again. And then maybe we'll sell off again later, right? But like that will be the pullback. But for now, what I wanted to see was push into this low, create a higher low, a cleaner higher low, or a push down. But to be honest, if this comes up and we get actually into this zone, okay, we actually react from this area right now, and we take out, let's say, the daily highs, and we tap into this level again and we get rejected, and this valuation keeps pushing us down, yeah, I do think it's a valuable short to take the short down as well. So, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, the pullback is real for sure. But I keep the buy limit open for now, because if you don't get and take out the daily highs and we pull back, I'm still willing to look at it for sure. See where we are. Yeah. So if we can push up higher, just pay a lot of attention to the daily highs, right? That's the pink line. To me, that's just an important level. Because let's say we are there and the dollar decides to flip or pull back. I do think that we're going to see a pullback too. So I don't think that shorts are completely like out of the window yet right now. Not definitely not shorting here, but if we can get up there and we'll start struggling. It's definitely already at a super important stage right now, right? We know this. Did you get your 100K sub play button? Yeah, I do have it somewhere. Yeah, I have it somewhere. It's actually pretty sad because the moment I hit the 100,000 subscribers, they changed the play button. Before it was super big and super like, it looked like a prize. It looked like a trophy before. Now they give you just a piece of wood. They're like, yeah, you're like one of the millionth person with 100,000 subscribers. So we're not gonna give you an official play button anymore. We're gonna give you a piece of wood with a nice text. But anyways, it's still a nice achievement, obviously. It's very nice. Okay, we're still there. I must say overall, obviously we're going to see already that we're going to really see the resistance now. Don't get me wrong, but we will be already in some resistance very soon here. Actually, right now, I think we're already in some resistance as well. I really hope we could actually take out the daily highs. If we could take out the daily highs, we know, okay, daily highs are taken out. We tap into our major zone. And we can look for the reversal. Because this is starting to look weaker. Yo, Lorenzo, did you feel the earthquake in the Philippines? No, man. No, Bali is far away from the Philippines. I'm not sure how far. It's not too far away, but it's pretty far away. What happened? Oh, wow. Okay, 7.8. Okay. Damn. Well, that's the thing about Bali, right? That's the only thing that I'm thinking about. I'm never really worried about like war and stuff. I think Indonesia is actually, if we're talking about like WW3 or anything like that, I actually think that Indonesia is one of the safest places in the world to be at. I really believe that. You have 17,000 islands here. Okay? Indonesia has 17,000 islands. You can go to one of those islands, whatever. We'll eat rice, some of the rice paddies. Like, we'll figure it out. But what I don't like here in Bali is the ring of fire. It's the earthquakes, the tsunami risk, like all that type of stuff, right? Mother Nature. So yeah, what comes with the good comes with the bad. It's like, you know, it could happen. But 7.8 earthquake is pretty heavy, man. Wow. That's a large one. Yeah, the thing about Bali right now, it's like, I want to show you a chart. You're not going to believe this, okay? This is what I mean. Like, the only thing right now here, if you make money in dollars, because we're all making money in dollars, I'm making all my money in euros and in dollars, right? Now, for example, look at this chart while we're waiting for gold here. The US dollar versus the Indonesian rupiah on the daily time frame, on the weekly time frame. Do you see that? You know what's happening right now in Indonesia? People are selling their rupiahs. They want to buy dollars. My fitness coach today, my trainer, my personal trainer, he said, I need to buy dollars. I need to buy dollars as soon as possible. Okay? I need to buy dollars. He is looking actively to buy dollars off market. Okay, not on market, off market, for a premium. People need to get rid of their rupiahs right now. Look at that. So if you have dollars and you make money in dollars, then this is of course very lucrative, but it's not good for the people that live here. It's very sad actually for the people that live in Indonesia, because they get absolutely crushed. Okay, it looks like a meme coin right now. It's unbelievable. Why don't we trade this, guys? Come on. Let's just trade the dollar against the rupiah together. Okay? Let's try to do that. What do you think? Now, out of respect for this country, which I respect a lot. I love Indonesia. My heart is dear with the Indonesian people. I will not long the dollar against the rupiah. It's crazy because actually Indonesia is one of the superpowers right now, you would say. It's growing significantly as a country. You have to understand, it's one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. Population in the world. It also has 225 million people living here. That's 250 million people. Right? Or not? How many people live in Indonesia? 287 million people. Okay? Think about that. 287 million people live here. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, we're pulling back. We're pulling back right now. I actually like this trade. To be honest, I like this long setup more and more and more and more. If we pull back right now, I'm actually liking it more and more. If we get back to this level, because the more we're like dropping right now, the valuation is coming down and down and down and down towards the lows. We have shifted structure right now for the first time ever. It's been for how long? We bounced from higher time frame support, right? We are in higher time frame resistance on the dollar right now. Things like that, right? Things are a little bit aligned. The euro is a major support right now, right? The euro is showing you that reversal as well. Manipulation of the lows and then the reversal to the highs, right? Lower low, higher high, higher time frame support. So I like that the gold is getting to that undervaluation on the dollar, against the dollar, sorry. But it has to drop in order to do that. Yeah, I would actually like to see it dropping. For now, this whole session has been mid-range, in the middle, okay? I can assure you, if we would be trading the Asian session, 99% chance we would have a clean 5-minute trend right now. So let's see if we can at least manipulate down and then react, or push up and then react. Let's see. Yeah, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin has been pumping too again. Okay, Bitcoin had a major recovery of 2%. Congratulations. Bitcoin is going to the moon. No, Bitcoin is indeed back at support as well. So Bitcoin is now pushing back a little bit. It has been also super sold, oversold as well here. It had to make a little bit of a pullback, but you know, the amount that Bitcoin is already struggling right now, right? It's trying to make the pullback, but it's not like giving you any strong reactions. It's struggling. Bitcoin is still struggling. And it takes that one sweep from the dollar to potentially push Bitcoin down again, it seems like. But yeah. When is our giveaway? I think we're going to do it soon, my friends. I think we're going to do it soon. Yeah. Let me know if the internet connection is stable today. Okay. Been trying to work on it. Someone from the internet came in this morning. All right, let me know. My girlfriend was talking to him. She said that everything was good, so let me know. Why do you do giveaways? Well, I get some revenue, okay? I get some YouTube revenue. Yeah. And I like to give away some of that revenue from my YouTube channel. It's not much, okay? It's not much, but it's something, okay? It is something. You can't really live from it, but it's enough for the giveaways, if that makes sense, okay? Streaming on YouTube doesn't pay much. Okay, but it's worth trading and using for this for things like giveaways, things like that. Okay, so how excited you are about FIFA 2026. The thing is, man, can I be honest with you? I'm not really a football guy, okay? I'm you know, I pretend I am. I'm not really. I don't really care about it too much. What I do care about is the World Cup. Okay, I'm one of those guys, okay? I don't care about football, I care about the World Cup. So I do watch the World Cup. I do watch the World Cup, okay? Yes. And I do want the Netherlands to come really far. I do want the Netherlands to get really far. And I do think they can, because they're the Netherlands. The Netherlands is a great team. I know they're good. I know they got the skill set. They're hungry. They're all mixed race, so it can't go wrong. It can't go wrong, okay? But yeah, I'm 100% supporting the Netherlands this year. This is the only thing I do. Every 4 years, I'm a football fan, okay? To be honest, when I was younger, me and my family were watching the World Cup and we were crying when the Netherlands lost. We were literally crying, on the couch crying. I was wearing an orange t-shirt. I had my food. We had our flags. This is how I grew up as a child, okay? I'm serious. I had my flags, I had my t-shirt. I had my posters, I had my football cards. I had everything. Okay. You had to buy a bag of chips, and in that bag of chips you could find those football cards. I was buying all this bag of chips and I was eating those chips to get these football cards, and I was loving life. These were good times. Yeah. How about Italy? Italy is not in the World Cup, so it's the Netherlands, man. I have to support the Netherlands then. As someone that's mixed race like you, yeah. You know what the thing is? I don't really feel like I'm mixed race because I'm still white. I'm still blonde. I still have my blonde curls, you know what I mean? So I don't feel like I'm mixed race, but actually in theory, I'm mixed race, okay? I'm 50-50, all right? I'm half Italian, I'm half Dutch, so I'm super mixed. I'm as mixed as you can get it, but the mixed races are usually half black, half white, right? So I don't really feel like I'm one of those, but I'm actually super mixed too. You don't really see it though, but I am. Man, that resistance or that range is crazy, but you know, the levels are clear to me. It's just like a matter of time. Either we go up there or we go down there. Like, it doesn't really matter. What I prefer now, knowing that I'm seeing this, what I prefer now is a sweep and a push up. And then maybe a larger reserve, maybe larger sell-off, something like that, right? But I prefer the sweep down into the VWAP, into the point of control, into the low volume mode, right? For the push up. I prefer this. If price comes up and it doesn't reach my entry, okay, we'll have to watch what happens at the daily highs. We have to watch the daily highs and see if the daily highs are created and we push up, what happens after that. But like, I prefer to come down. I prefer now to come down, but you never know, right? That's why I don't want to go short now, because you're in the middle of a range. You're in a very tricky level right now. The only way I would short is higher, and then look for the larger trade. Yeah, it's awesome that soccer or football is like one of the best. Like it brings people together. I agree, right? People don't really care about their countries anymore too much. At least not in the Netherlands. No one cares about the Netherlands anymore. This is just the reality. Sorry to say this to you, but but the moment the World Cup comes, everyone is pro-Dutch. You know, everyone is 100% Dutch. I'm also 1000% Dutch when I watch the World Cup. It's just the truth. That's just how it works, and that's what we need in this world in order to come together. We need things like this. So yeah, I'm happy that it's there. I love it, and I would always support it. Absolutely. Can you show me how you got the daily high resistance box? Yes, I have. The reason why, we have a low volume node here on the previous day. Okay, that's an area where less volume has been traded. It's actually a little bit tighter now he's saying it. It's actually right there. Okay, so that is a zone that we use right there to determine an area where low volume has been traded. That is from a candlestick perspective. Now inside of that, we also have that 4-hour zone, which is this 4-hour candle. And this is actually the crazy part. The 4-hour candle is the NFP candle for Friday. And usually, right, you expect when the NFP opens up bearish for the dollar, bearish for gold and bullish for the dollar, what you expect is a lot of volume in that candle. But actually the problem is that inside of this candle, most of the volume is still traded at the bottom of this candle. Right there, 9.3K contracts against 8.9K contracts. So that means, roughly speaking, right, around 20,000 contracts were traded inside of this candle, inside of this zone. Okay? The problem with that is that in a large candle like that, when the volume is so concentrated at the bottom, this immediately becomes resistance. Immediately. So when the market opens up and price comes up and it's the Asian session and price steps into it, that is already by default going to be an area of resistance where sellers could step in, where you could find really good entries for shorts. Okay? Now this is why if the daily high is taken out and we're still in this zone and we see weakness, that it's still a valid short because of the amount of volume in that 4-hour candle and the distribution of volume being lower. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Now at the same time, all those sellers that stepped in here today during the London session and the Asian session were shorting here. But now they're failing. Okay, they're having a hard time breaking price further down because we are operating in daily support. Euro, daily support. Dollar, weekly supply. The seller stepped into, the candle closed above it. So we're in between that major seller zone and that major buyer zone. Okay, so we're in a range. So the question now is, how do we trade that? Well, the one thing that we can do is, we can wait for the pullback and see if we can trade the pullback towards that seller zone. Okay, totally possible. We can also wait for a price to get higher and sell off. Totally possible, right? So any one of those levels, I think, provide us with some opportunities. I think this is one of those. This is secondary. But the main reason why we look at longs too now is because of the dollar. We know the dollar is in that major resistance on the weekly time frame. The euro is a major support. Okay, look at the euro on the 4-hour time frame. Look at the euro. If the euro goes up, the dollar goes down. If the dollar goes down, gold goes up. That has been the case over the last weeks. 80% of the time, actually. So the euro is now looking better. We're recovering a little bit after a huge drop on Friday. Gold right now is here. Okay? This is where gold is at. We tapped into the zone multiple times right now. You can see it actually very well if you take this low right there. Resistance, support, support. Look at that. There's a reason. The 4320 tends to act as strong support. You can actually put it a bit higher. The 4322. because you want to have it precisely. You can see that here we got rejected at it too. Here we are at support, right? Here we are at support. And now we're here. We're reacting from it again, okay? So when you put these things together, the question is, are we able to make a pullback back to the highs? To potentially then follow the daily trend, right? In a risk-off environment and still sell off later on and come down lower. So we're just kind of in a pullback scenario where the dollar is in resistance, where the euro is at support, where gold is at support, okay? Where oil is struggling too a little bit. Not much news coming out so far around Iran at the moment. If you take it to the 15-minute time frame, then what you can see today, if you just look at today, that the market opened up, we sold off, we swapped the lows twice, we failed to do it the third time, and we broke structure to the upside. So if this is the chance now to make a pullback, it's now, right? It's a looking for a discounted zone inside of the push up to see if there is an opportunity to potentially push price higher back towards the daily highs. Then the question will be, are we going to reject here and sell off already? Or will we be, pretty much doing something like this? Or is this the new reversal for the larger push back to the NFP highs? Okay, if that happens, amazing. Even better shorting opportunities right around there as well here. But we have to wait and see, okay? If price pulls back, amazing. If we can find a short-term bottom, great. If we get into our limit order, we will be undervalued against the dollar. That is the good part. So we have to wait and see from there. What about the VWAP? Yeah, we have the VWAP too. The VWAP is a bit higher. But I think that the dollar right now needs to really pull back to the range and find that resistance now. If the dollar can find that resistance there, then that will be amazing. Because if the dollar is here and the dollar taps into that zone, yeah, maybe, right? We will struggle here and maybe we'll pull back. What I'm trying to do is to get the best possible entry. But we have to wait and see here. If price is there, great. The 5-minute is already undervalued. Why is this important? Well, every undervaluation here, bottom. Short-term bottom, right? Bottom. Bottom, right? We are there already. So we'll wait and see how that goes. People think that this is the RSI. It's not the RSI, okay? It is actually called the self-valuation index. It actually, if you type in the dollar, you can also change it for oil. You get something different. Similar though, because dollar and oil are correlated. But like, let's put the dollar. Then you can actually see how it behaves against the dollar. So when the dollar is pushing higher, okay, then gold is pushing lower. So let's see if we can get filled. Hopefully we do this time. And yeah, I just think this is regardless. I think it's just a valid setup. I think it's just a valid setup that we can try. Yeah, I like it so far. You have the higher time frame, the lower time frame confirmation. You have the order flow with it as well here, which is actually right there. So yeah, we wanted to actually tap into the zone and hopefully we squeeze through it quickly. And if not, then at least the point of control is where I would enter market and see from there. But like that would be the idea. We have the high to the low. And the red line is the point of control. The point of control means an area where we have the most volume traded. Okay, in that range. At least to the point of control would be amazing though, right? And I would put my stop loss not at the lowest. I would put my stop loss at the 8. I don't know exactly what the price is on gold, but I think it's yeah, somewhere around the 83-ish. With an entry at like the 6. And a target of like the 52, right? 60, 55. Do you have an opinion about silver? Why not trading silver? It's a good question, actually. Let's look at silver. You can also do this, right? You can also do like silver divided by gold. If you click on silver USD divided by gold USD, you click on enter, you get the silver against the gold chart. And then you can see how gold and how silver performs against gold, right? And in this case, you can see that yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's actually at support as well. But in terms of silver itself, let's go to silver. It's pretty much the same thing as gold right now, right? It shows the exact same levels. Higher time frame support. That's it. Daily, daily, daily. Major daily support. Nothing to say there. I think it's a pretty strong, clear level for everyone to see that we have been constantly rejecting from that level over the last couple of months. So at least if we can ask ourselves the question, is there a chance that we make a pullback and sell off and try to maybe break it? Totally possible. Yeah, the NFP Friday was super wild. It was one of the biggest candles we've seen in a very long time with a lot of volume. I don't remember when we for the last time traded 81,000 contracts on a 4-hour candle on gold, okay? I've never seen this, personally. I don't remember when I've seen it for the last time. The highest I've ever seen, I think, was around 60,000. Friday was 80,000. Okay, so yes, this will be heavy resistance. The daily highs will be major resistance. I don't think it will be easy to break the daily high. Okay, doesn't seem to be easy. So yeah, I would never personally, if I would go long and I would look for a pullback, I would never think about potentially holding on to my trade. I would definitely close it there because it seems to me that this is just such an important level, higher time frame wise, and I think it will find so much resistance there. It will be very tough to break. Yeah. But let's see. Do you follow the World Cup? Yeah, well, look at it, man. If you go to Polymarket, you know, you can put $1,000 on the Netherlands. If the Netherlands wins, okay. If the Netherlands actually wins the World Cup, you make $20,000. That's what I heard. Okay, I'm not really a gamble guy. I'm not really a betting guy too much. Okay, If it's Bitcoin, I'm cool with this. If it's gold, I'm cool with this. If it's oil, I'm cool with it. I'm not really a betting type of guy. Okay. But I heard that the Netherlands, if they win the World Cup, then you make around $22,000. And trust me, there is a chance. Yeah. There is an actual chance, okay? There's an actual chance. So, up to you to decide what you want to do with this information. Netherlands always surprises everyone. It's worth a small bet. I can guarantee you that. It's worth a small bet. So here, the Netherlands, okay? All right. If I would put $100 on the Netherlands, you make $2,400. If they win the World Cup, that's a 24R risk to reward ratio. I don't know. It seems very interesting. You know what I mean? It seems very interesting to me. Okay. It actually seems very interesting to me. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it. $2,400 for $100. That's. I'm not really a gamble guy. I don't even know. Is this allowed on YouTube? I don't know. Fuck it. Okay. Yeah, that's 24R. Why not? Make it a bit more exciting than it already is. Make it a bit more exciting. Wow, $200 to make 5K. What does a normal, this is a question towards the chat here. What's a normal football ticket? If you want to actually go to, the stadium, let's say, right? How much does a ticket cost to watch something like that? Like, I have no clue. How much does it cost to watch something like that? If you want to go to the World Cup and you want to watch, let's say, you want to go to the stadium, I can guarantee you pay at least $250 a ticket. $200 a ticket, right? So why don't you just bet that $200 on your favorite team and you watch it from your home with the comfort of your family, the people around you, and you just have a bit more fun with the opportunity to make a bunch of money. Listen, up to decide, but like, it makes sense to me. Yes, 100%. Okay, the dollar is shooting up. Gold is not really coming down anymore. Like gold is at the VWAP right now, right? We talked about the VWAP already before. Doesn't really want to come down. At the same time, the dollar is not really shooting down. It's pulling up back to the range. I hope gold can give us that final squeeze, at least to the 35, right? At least to the 35. But what I can see now in the lower time frame, let's actually zoom in because we're kind of seeing the development right now. The VWAP is always a level here. No, I definitely want to wait for that price to be hit at the 35 for sure. Definitely want to see price stepping into the point of control. Actually, now I'm seeing this level on the hourly. I'm actually definitely interested in seeing if you could take it from the 35. Yeah. The swing point of control. We're undervalued by that moment, probably. We will be at the point of control. Stop loss stays below that 4-hour zone. I don't think it has to shift. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's fine. The 4-hour, the daily, no, the 4-hour, sorry. No, it's actually at a good level. Yeah. In the meantime, guys, if you guys are enjoying the streams on a daily basis here, for the next 6 weeks, we're going to go straight ham. Okay? No Telegram, no nothing to share, only a free book and the streams. So if you could like this video, it would be highly appreciated. Thank you. World tickets are going for $1,800 here in Houston. Wow. Can you believe that? Would you pay that money? $1,800, $2,000 for what, a regular ticket? What a business. Yeah, I rather, to be honest, if it's $2,000, okay, I really prefer to put that money. Like, I understand the experience, I get how fun it is to be there in the stadium, etc. I get it, right? But like, I rather put that money on Polymarket and bet it against my favorite team or on my favorite team or whatever the case may be, and watch it with my people that I like around me, with some popcorn at home. That's my personal opinion. You never get the same experience, by the way. You never see football in the same way, right? Same thing in Formula One. If you go to Monaco and you sit on a yacht and you're paying $5,000 to sit on the yacht and to have fun and to have a glass of champagne. To be honest, it's just noisy. You don't see anything. You see one corner in Monaco, you go up, you see some cars, it makes a bunch of noise. You can't even talk to each other anymore. And you sit there with some, billionaire on a billionaire yacht who's smart, who's actually renting you out that shithole. You're gonna pay the billionaire to sit on the yacht, and it looks cool and it looks great on stories. But the reality is, it's so much better to watch it from your OLED TV, your 4K OLED 90-inch TV, while you're betting on your favorite racer. You get the point? Treat it like a business. Okay? Treat it like a business. Well, to be honest, I'm very impressed how good gold is holding here, to be honest, guys, right now. I am very, very impressed. Let's stay sharp here. Yeah, we're kind of respecting the zone. The dollar is getting a bit tricky now. We're in that resistance here. Like I said, the 35 is my ideal level. We are in this trapped sellers zone. We know how important this level is. Sellers are not succeeding here at the moment. We do have resistance at the 51 still, right? We do have that resistance here. We have these sellers that are still active, but not that much volume. So I understand why we're respecting the VWAP right now at the moment, right here. I would love to see the sweep getting into the trade, close back above the VWAP, and go higher. That would be the ideal case scenario. Especially if we can tap into the hourly zone here today. I want to get back to the daily highs. We can back to the daily highs and we can get some sort of resistance here and we sell off there. And we'll just reject and we'll make a larger push down. That will be amazing. But the dollar is back at this level right now. It's very important to pay attention to this area. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it, but it's very tempting here. Not gonna lie, it's very tempting here. It's very tempting to hold on here. Especially around this area. But what I don't like is that the fact that we have that range, the manipulation, and then that expansion. So this will become resistance. So I'd rather than enter lower in that zone that we marked out, or the buy limit, to then make that squeeze, to then sell off, right? Like something like that. The dollar is already reacting from that level, which is not really a surprise. And the VWAP is reacting to, it's not really a surprise. We are undervalued. So we are definitely holding at a major level right now of support. Let's look at the oil for a second. I think it's important to look at oil too. Oil right now is actually on the hourly time frame. Yeah, not looking that super strong. We are bouncing a little bit. So I think this is kind of what's holding gold back a little bit right now from breaking out. But also if this gets rejected, we're gonna probably see the same thing. Yeah, but I really like this limit order right now at the 35. But there is just a chance that the VWAP holds here, looking at the lower time frame. I like the cleaner price action today. It's been a while. It's been a while in New York that we had like some clean price action. Even though it's pretty rangy right now, it's still clean. Yeah, I think that limit order is where it needs to be. I really think that. I do think there is a chance that we already push. But I just think that is the level where I would feel very comfortable longing. Yeah. I do like how the dollar is doing its thing right now. How the dollar is reacting here. Especially around this area. What I also really like is that indeed price came up, and what happened? The stealth valuation index created a lower low, right? So price did the opposite. Price was going higher, making higher highs and higher lows, while the valuation index created lower lows and lower highs. That shows that this move was kind of forced. The price had to come down, it had to take out the lows, and now it took out the lows. So that's why I'm saying there is a chance that this is the bottom, and that we're now making a real move back up again, right? There is definitely a chance that this will be the breakout. The best entry, though, I would say, is that last final squeeze for the breakout. But it could be that this is now a reaction that we're going to see here, that this is a bottom here. Personally, I would say I'm going to stick to that limit order. If I can get filled, amazing. Yeah. The VWAP is a real thing, right? You can see how the VWAP has been supporting and how we're not just in the VWAP, we're also in a pretty important level. So yeah, we might indeed see some sort of expansion soon too. It's a very important level right now for VWAP, that's for sure. Because we know why. The dollar is in at resistance. But what could happen is that we're going to get rejected here. And that's the value area low. You see that? We're already getting rejected there right now. We take the range of this area, we manipulate the highs, and then we break the lows. You can take the range of that. You can see that the purple line is the value area low. Okay? And I don't really want to enter at the value area low because you could easily see that rejection. Okay? And then sell off again and get towards our limit order, which is the best entry in my opinion. So that kind of holds me back from longing now. That manipulation that we've seen before here. Okay? That's the main reason why I would say I'm not going to go long now, even though we know how important this level is. But it's definitely an interesting reaction we're seeing so far. Lorenzo, you also watch the MMA? Yes, I do watch MMA. Yeah. So I'm very, very excited about this too. It's been a very interesting one. You name it. I love sports in general. You know, I'm not a big football guy, only with the World Cup, but I love to watch the boxing, MMA, Formula 1, basketball right now too. So I like to watch a lot of sports. I don't have time to watch everything, but you know, on YouTube, I just check what happened, etc. Right? I look at like the recaps and stuff. I do like it. Salad says Italy to win the World Cup. Forza Italia. Well, the thing is, bro, where is Italy at? It's not there, man. They are not qualified for the World Cup. So, Yes. Yeah, the dollar doesn't seem to be slowing down. Like it is at resistance, but it's not like breaking down, right? It's like trying to break it again. So this is the typical dollar. We know the dollar is bullish on the daily time frame. We're not gonna neglect the dollar's strength, even though we are at resistance right now. Look at that on the 4-hour time frame. This is some serious resistance right here. We can't neglect that either. So I think we're gonna sit it out and get to our entry limit order. Yeah. And then we'll see. Yeah, because the dollar is still there. Oil, vice versa. So, have to be patient, okay? What is the price of gold right now? 16. Yeah. $16. The point of control though is at 12. So watch that level very, very closely. Watch that level. Okay, watch the point of control. At 12. What's the point of control? No, 4311.75. Watch that level very closely. And the 43067. But for now, the VWAP is holding. The VWAP is doing its absolute best to hold that level. It really does. It really wants to hold it. But not for us. We really wanted to break it right now, actually. We want it to break it. But it's so strong. Wow. Yeah, it's very impressive. I must say, it's very impressive. Okay. Do you guys want to buy the VWAP? That is the question. No, I prefer to stick to my level here. Oh, sorry, to my to the 35, 43.35, 43.35 exactly. Yeah, but it's a strong level, man. The VWAP. It does not want to. It does not want to break down. It's very impressive. It is very impressive looking at it right now. Oil is already in that resistance also. It's already struggling. But I just want to sweep it. Just want to sweep it. So stick to the initial analysis. Stick to the plan for me. Not deviating away from this. This is that zone that I'm watching. The 35. And I think it's a fair level to look at. and be patient with personally. Absolutely. Not trying to force this. This seems like a range manipulation breakout retest sell-off. So there's nowhere that I can buy at the VWAP right now. Nowhere near that I would love to do that. The point of control is something I would say, yeah. Right? That's something I would do. I think that is for me personally just a valuable level. And it's actually just a textbook setup. And this is not like Friday, like trying to predict the bottom here or something like that. This is much more of a like a confirmation type of entry. When the dollar is at resistance, oil is at resistance, euro is at support. But I'm definitely not implying here that gold is going to just go to the moon from here, right? That it's going to be a one-way street to the upside right now. What I'm just applying here is that we try to see if you could get back toward the daily highs and create some sort of a reversal play for whatever, right? Whatever is to come next. But like the daily resistance, the daily high here on the 4-hour NFP candle is a level to watch for. And also I think the dollar, of course, is dealing with a huge expansion here from the NFP. We got rejected. We manipulated in the highs. These highs were actually coming from that weekly supply zone, which is that major resistance right there. We know why we're getting rejected here, because we're in that zone. Yeah, we couldn't really break it. Such an important level, right? This major weekly resistance. And now we have to potentially come down to the daily where we came from. And then maybe from there I would say, okay, if you can, let's say, get back down, we maybe find some support for the breakout higher again. But like, this is just a major level. And the lower time frame shows that we're gonna find a lot of resistance here after taking out the highs, the range, the highs, then the lows, and then the retest, and then itself. So if the dollar does that, gold will definitely push back to that resistance that we talked about. But yeah, the dollar needs to reject around here. That would be ideal. But let's see if gold can do it. Right now, the VWAP is an unbelievable force that can be broken. It can be broken. It doesn't want to be broken. It is respecting the VWAP right now as we speak. We're actually in a lot of buying here, so it's very impressive. Why was everyone so excited for today? I don't know, man. Kim, you tell me. Why was everyone so excited for today? Maybe because of the NFP. Friday we had some crazy price action. So, I don't know. It is interesting that we swapped the lows today, though. We cannot neglect that. It is interesting that we swapped those lows. Yeah, the dollar is already getting rejected there. It really does not want to break that resistance that we marked out. The VWAP is still holding. It's very impressive. But at the same time, right, while we're pushing up here, just pay attention to the valuation now. It's still not moving along with it, so it's still like it's not fully there. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to that limit order. I like the limit order there. I'm not gonna chase it. And I would love to sweep those lows one more time, if we can do that. Yeah, the point of control of that range, that swing high to swing low. If you use the volume profile of that, you have the point of control at 35. And that is a level I would use. That is a level I would say, okay, if we can reach that and we're undervalued there, and the dollar is in that resistance, then we can give this a shot. In my opinion, we can give this a shot for that next leg up towards the major resistance. Don't you think since we're in bearish, it will sweep the daily highs and then drop? That's exactly what we're talking about, right? So we're in the daily resistance, or that weekly, that weekly resistance right here. We get rejected and we sell off, right? Most definitely. Most definitely. I'll be watching this for sure. Yeah. It's very tempting to buy here, like before. But you're dealing with so much resistance here on the lower time frame, like the range. It's gonna be tough to buy there. Yeah. We are still bearish, but we have so much work to do. Or why don't you use the swing profile from the NFP drop to the lowest point? That's a good question, actually. But the reality is that we actually had that high and that low here, and that we re-broke above it. So this becomes by default now some sort of level of support, right? That we want to watch. That's the main reason I have my entry there. Because if we can react here above the point of control, yeah, then we have at least that retest. So I think it makes sense to mark it out from that perspective too, which is the daily high to the daily, you could say low, the daily low, I would say. Is the stream stopping or is it going? I think the stream is doing good right now, correct? I think the stream is doing good right now. Yeah, I think the stream is doing better. If you take this, it's actually, I think 8 or 9, if I'm correct, 4209. So yeah, let's see. Well, the amount of patience for this setup is crazy. But yeah, Wednesday we have the Asian sessions. That's going to be an interesting stream. Wow, the VWAP. Wow, it can't break it, guys. Unbelievable. Can't break the VWAP. It can't even sweep it. No, I think we're nowhere near done, though. I don't think so. No, we have a lot of work to do. Nope. When is the giveaway? I think we're going to do it shortly. Yeah, I think we should do it shortly. Yes. Lorenzo, buy gold 24381. That's exactly what we're looking for. The daily highs. Exactly. Absolutely. Regardless, that's the goal, right? Get back to the daily highs. Regardless, that's the idea. To take out the daily highs and maybe them, right? Push down again, come back down again, right? That is definitely what we're looking for when getting into a position like that, because of the fact that the dollar still has a lot of work to do. And if the dollar can at least come back to the origin of that NFP expansion, then I think we'll have definitely pullback. We definitely need a pullback. Yeah. It's just impressive how strong the dollar is. So getting rejected there, which is not really surprising. Not really. Yeah, Lorenzo, does streaming make you a lot of money on YouTube? Not really, man. No. Streaming does not really pay you a lot. That's not really how it works. I mean, if you trade maybe on like a stream on Kick or something like that, or how do you call that? Twitch, maybe, you know, maybe you get like a good deal. I don't know how it works exactly. Because you have all these subscribers, right? I think on YouTube is not like that. YouTube is not like that at all. I think YouTube is much more formal. Yeah, if you make content that goes viral, like viral content, evergreen content, yeah, you can make a living off of YouTube, I guess. But streaming is not really big. Nope. But it's not about that. You don't do it for the revenue. You don't really stream for the YouTube revenue. That's not really how it goes about. That's not why you stream. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that price could still get to the buy limit? The dollar is already dropping. I personally think it's the best buying zone. That's my opinion. I personally think it's just the best level. We have the best value for our money. I would say so. It could actually be even at the 30, not even the 35, by the way. Just saying. But like, it is holding really well on the VWAP. Yeah, it's holding really well. And it was definitely not far from it, I would say. Yeah, I'm looking at the order flow now as well. You can definitely see that we're trying to really squeeze through that resistance here. But the major resistance is still not broken, so it's actually a little bit higher even. But yeah, it's holding up respectfully well. That we cannot neglect this. True. In general, we're still in the range. If you look at the daily session or the New York session, Asia, beautiful, right? Sell-off. London, manipulation at the high, sell-off. New York session. But I do like, to be honest, besides all of this, the New York session right now, I do like the structure. I like how it's getting formed. I like what the market is kind of telling us right now. I like all of it. I do like it. I do like it. Yeah. Hopefully we can do something like this, because we're going to reach this resistance very soon. Right here. We're not there yet. If you get rejected there, I would love to see the final squeeze for the push. For then it to potentially go lower, right? Yeah, that's definitely something we're looking at, but it's holding up respectfully well. We don't want to push it higher, indeed. Very good point. Not right now. Yeah, we marked out that resistance on the dollar beforehand, and you can see how it's rejecting at its level. There's no doubt the dollar is facing difficulties right here. Look at oil right now. Oil is holding up much better. Oil is actually holding up much stronger than the dollar is. But yeah, it's definitely what the dollar is struggling with right now. That resistance. Say guy says absolutely the buy limit will activate. Okay. Well, we are there now. We're at that resistance now. Right here. This is a very important moment for gold to show its worth. If that breaks, we're most likely to go to the daily highs. There's nothing else in the way, I think. So if the pullback has to come, it has to come ASAP. Yeah, we might keep the stream open, see what happens. Right? What's the temperature here? It's around 30 degrees, I think. Something like that. 30 degrees Celsius. I have to say Celsius here because I don't know where you're from, but I think it's, yeah, 30 degrees, something like that. You get used to it. It becomes actually normal. Matter of fact, 30 degrees is actually, if it's 26 degrees, it's kind of chilly. Whereas before in the Netherlands, when I was living in the Netherlands, 26 degrees was like all out beach vibes. Straight up. Okay, that's a rejection. Yeah, from that level, right? Order flow in real time. What if in like the next, let's say, what time is it right now? Next 10 minutes, we'll see a major injection of volume coming in. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Can we pull back? Yes. Can we just do this and then sell off? Netanyahu will be live in 9 minutes. So there you go. That's the volume we're talking about. Okay. That's going to be the volume you need. If that's the case, and there's something about, you know, Israel or whatever, Lebanon, Iran, then yes, then this will be cause some volatility here. Lorenzo, why it's so hard for me to be patient? The reason why it's hard to be patient is because imagine, right? Imagine you are patiently waiting for a trade and then that trade does not play out. It's terrifying, isn't it? Because you waited so long and now the trade has to play out. At the same time, what if you are patient and the trade then does play out? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that amazing? What if you're not patient and the trade does not play out? Or what if you're not patient and the trade does play out? You still were not patient. So okay. Well, that rejection is on that order flow rejection that we talked about is real. That's for sure. That area. Why did we mark out this exact candle? Why exactly here? Trapped, aggressive sellers. In that level right there. Ooh, what a flip. What a flip. What a flip. That doesn't take away our overall breakdown, our overall analysis though, right? It doesn't take away our overall kind of analysis. But yeah, the order flow rejection is there clearly. It's definitely reacting from it, that's for sure, yeah. Definitely. Lorenzo, what is your favorite food? A great question. I love to talk about food. As you can see, I eat a lot. Okay. If you look at me, you can tell that I'm eating a lot lately. Gained some weight, some good weight. But yesterday I went to a Spanish restaurant. That was amazing, man. I really, really enjoyed it. It's still one of my favorite cuisines. Spanish food. Yes. Some paella. Love it. Yeah, so pretty much if we would go long, we would have been back at our entry again. We will be FOMOing in. We would be back at our entry. So, in my opinion, that level below is better. It's just the entry where it needs to be. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Yeah, Spanish food amazing. Yo, Ads Plays, welcome to the channel, man. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. How much do you weigh and how tall are you? Yo, you want to know my PIN code too, man? You want to understand my IBAN, my European IBAN number? You want to have my you want to do my tax filing too? You want to be my accountant? Yo. Tell me, man, what do you want? What do you need? I'm all here, man. Where do you pay tax? Okay, there we go. Oh, you guys are smart. You guys are smart. You guys are asking the right questions, that's for sure. Radak, we'd love to stay with you all until the end, fam. Gotta go work. Take care, Radak. Thank you for joining the first session. I really enjoyed you being there. We have a lot more cool sessions to come. The next session is on Thursday, Radak. We're gonna talk about supply and demand. Yes, looking forward to see you there, man. All right, current rejection is a real one. The dollar is coming down, but the gold is not really pushing higher. The volume is really low right now. We are back in the range. We have been ranging all New York session today. The VWAP currently is holding support. It doesn't want to break it, so it also doesn't want to break higher. So we're definitely not buying at the VWAP. I don't really see it. I really want to buy lower. I really want to buy in that gap, actually, but preferably the point of control. The point of control of the swing high to swing low. So we can remove everything right now. Let's just remove everything for a second. Trading, position and orders. Okay, so you take the volume profile. We take it from the previous day, number one. We have to actually begin there. Okay, so what happened during the day? Okay, let's go back. Hope I don't lose everything, by the way. But anyways, we have the volume profile yesterday. We take the volume profile Friday. Then we have the value area low of the previous day. We always look at that. We marked it out right there. Okay, previous day, the value area low. That's one level that we watch. That's the daily high actually today. Right, so we came into this level. You see this right around there. Okay. So we came into this. Market opens up after the blue line. Right, price came up. Buyer stepped in. Boom. Bye bye. Sell off. Couldn't break the previous daily very low. That previous daily very low level was that 4-hour resistance. Most of the volume was distributed there. Couldn't break it. Makes sense that this will be resistance. The price tapped into that, sold off. It swept the lows from Friday, the previous daily lows. It also swept the daily lows at that time. The weekly top wick candle, the daily candle was set. The top wick was set. Price clipped down. Then we had another sweep of the lows. Suddenly, after that, a major sweep. Again. And then again, but we couldn't break the lows in. And that's when we broke out. So this is why we used the volume profile of the swing high, the daily high, to the daily low with the lowest body closure. And this is the red line, the point of control. The point of control is the area in this swing high where the most volume was executed. Most volume equals most interest, potentially. That is sitting on futures at the 35, okay? So we have now a level. Now we know that on the higher time frame, we tapped into what we call higher time frame support, daily support, okay? We talked about it already, the dollar, the euro, the oil, etc. We already talked about this, right? So right now we're there. We're kind of reacting from it. We have the daily level there. You can fine tune this daily level, okay? Then we have also a low volume node inside of this, an area where less volume has been traded. So if you look at the volume and the distribution of the volume, we have the high volume, we have the low volume, and the high volume. So in the low volume, which is right here, we also have this area, okay? An area of low volume. So we mark out that area. That is an area of interest. And this is why I told you, like, okay, this is a potential, let's say, buying zone right now, okay? Why do we want to buy? Why do I want to buy there? Potentially, I will talk about it in a second. Buying zone. So gold, USD. We talked about it. It's like 4,309, right? Something like that. We came down, we couldn't, we trapped the lows twice. We couldn't break the lows again, and we broke the highs in daily support. Now, at the same time, the dollar is in resistance here. Weekly supply zone on the dollar. So major resistance on the dollar. Couldn't break it, we're in it, couldn't break it. We are in weekly resistance. Now, on the dollar, we know that that NFP candle on a Friday was super bullish, and that this is where the origin begins. This is where we came up. So usually what can happen, we see a major candle like that, like a news candle, it comes down to fill that candle. Fill that engulfing candle right there. So price is doing that. Now, we're kind of seeing the retracement of that. So we have the range, the manipulation, the rejection, the retest, the sell-off. We expect a weaker dollar, okay? Now, at the same time, we have the VWAP too. We're trading above it again on gold. This is kind of what's holding and what's respecting. So it could be that this is the bottom and that price now is trying to go to the daily highs. If price goes to the daily highs, it will take out the daily highs. It will set new daily highs. But at the same time, that will become resistance too, right? Because we are operating in that area where during the NFP, so much volume was traded. So we have to mark out that level as resistance as well, okay? That is a level of resistance that we mark out. It comes from this zone. So we know that this is going to be major resistance on gold. We know that. The trend is still bearish. Gold is super bearish on the higher time frame. Okay, we're just pulling back. So we know that we have daily resistance there as well, okay? So we have the daily resistance there. Gold is operating and is trying to respect now the lows and is respecting the VWAP. So as you can see now, we're struggling to break the range today. The New York session has been flat, okay? The New York session has been relatively flat at the moment. We couldn't really break out. We couldn't really break down. We are, since 8 a.m., in the range, flat. So what's going to happen now? Two things can happen, right? If price comes down, what I want to look for is a higher low. Now that we are in daily support. Why are we in daily support? The euro is in daily support. Look at the euro on the daily. Super clean, actually. A major rejection of the NFP here. Now the pullback. If that happens, the dollar will have more downside pressure. More downside pressure on the dollar, more upside pressure on gold. Okay? So what we're looking for on gold is nothing more than the bounce of the daily support, which is here. Daily support, daily support, daily support, daily resistance. Major level, right? What we're actually looking for is a retest to the NFP highs for the sell-off. In my opinion, for the daily trend to continue, right? As long as there's nothing clear about like Iran and like the market sentiment being really risk off right now. Treasury's pushing up really aggressively. I would say this is still the bearish trend on gold. But that pullback makes so much sense though. And that's what we're kind of thinking about right now, right? The pullback. Is this the pullback we're waiting for? Okay. Is this going to be the push up? And if it indeed breaks that resistance, is this then going to be the daily level? And is that then going to be the sell-off? Or is this going to be the sell-off? Back to the daily resistance, which actually starts there. Okay. But these are like the scenarios on gold that we're looking for. But we're definitely looking to trade it up right now. We don't want to. I don't want to short it now. I think it's definitely now too much of a level where shorting becomes no longer as rewarding as buying here. Okay. But at this level, I have to take out daily highs or maybe the next one. But first, this one, we need to look at it step by step because the volume that was traded here being so aggressively right there, major volume. We're going to find so much resistance here too that we haven't broken yet. So definitely interesting to watch. But I would say at this moment, the range is not giving a clear indication, even though the VWAP is actually holding really well. Okay. So buying zone for me is going to be there. It's going to stay there. We have it there already for a while. We have our orders sitting there for a while. But that resistance will also be very interesting as well. There's no doubt about that. If you go to the lower time frame, I'm very impressed how strong it's holding on the lower time frame right now. That's for sure. So unless some news comes out that causes some spike, some volume, that would be very good. Let's see what the news is, if there is any news. I do believe, to be honest, that the news itself is kind of irrelevant right now. It is relevant, but it's not relevant because price is going to do what it's going to do anyways. And I was looking at it right now, and if you really want to learn the news, then it says Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu told Trump Israel has the full right to self-defense. Or in the event that Iran attacks Israel again, we will respond with might. Israel Prime Minister, Israel holding fire in Iran for now. So you see how that's bullish and bearish at the same time? Now first he says, for now, we're holding fire. We're not going to do anything. Okay? We're keeping ourselves cool. But in the event that Iran attacks Israel again, we will respond with might, with full force. But then Iran says maybe, no, Iran doesn't really attack. Maybe you could use that in your favor. So we're not really going to do anything, but if Iran does something to us, we're going to respond with full force. Okay? And at the same time, we have the right to fully defend ourselves. Okay? Of course, everyone has the right to defend themselves. That doesn't mean anything. Do you see that? Everyone has the right to defend themselves at any time. So I don't know why this is so important. Okay? It's just so much noise. That's the conclusion. There's just so much noise, so much threatening, indirect threatening from both sides. There is no clarity. Okay? There's no clarity. So if we take every event, every news event that we see now as serious, a serious threat, or as serious to the dollar or to oil, the oil prices or whatever, it's really tough. It's really tough. What I've actually noticed right now over the last, I don't know how many sessions on the New York session, is that you can literally say whatever you want. And oil will respond to it. The dollar will respond to that. And gold will respond to that. You can say, we're gonna attack Iran, and then an hour later, sorry, no, we decided to go into a further conversation and talk about peace deals again. So when they say we're gonna attack Iran, and they're gonna blood, right, it's gonna be very nasty. Trump said it himself. We're gonna attack Iran. It's gonna be nasty, he said. I don't know if he said it exactly like that, but something like that. And then what he came up with? A peace deal agreement. So yeah, when it comes down to news, what the best thing you can do is just to follow the price action and to do whatever you can. Look at the buyers and sellers. Look at the structure, look at the price, and just follow up with your setups. And just focus on that. Focus on that. And if you don't want to trade that, then just trade the ASIS session. Like we're going to do on Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to be live during the ASIS session. It's been a long time since I've traded the ASIS session live on stream. So it will be a very interesting session, and also a session where I need to wake up. I need to have my coffee because it's going to be early for me. I think we're going to do the giveaway very soon, guys. I think that's the plan. And watch the volume increase here in a split of a second. Let's give it a try. But yeah. Now, a lot of people looking at this resistance right now. If I would say resistance, I would look at the daily highs for sure. I would definitely look at the daily highs. Yeah. Shall we do the giveaway, my friends? I think it's time to do the giveaway here. I don't think I would really remove my limit order, to be honest. I think I would keep my limit order where it should be, where I put it beforehand. We did our analysis around this area, this limit order. The reason why we want to put our limit order there is clear. I don't really think that anything would change this. I would not really change my mind. I would also not really FOMO into a trade right now because of a certain reason, especially not because the New York session has been just ranging. So I don't really would change my mind about anything here. So I think it's just time to do a nice giveaway. And as promised, I will do a giveaway here. Because, like I said, the YouTube revenue came in. Joking. No, we're gonna do a giveaway, fam. We have been training like this already for a while. And last time we did a giveaway, I think was a while ago, right? A couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the flex challenge, 100K. That was the one I was looking at. Or 250K, you guys can decide. Two times 50 or one time 100? Let me know what you guys want. Are you guys greedy or conservative? Let's run a poll so you don't have to spam it. FundedNext giveaway. 2 times 50K or 1 time 100K challenge. 2 times 50, 1 time 100. Let me know in the chat. Not in the chat, in the poll, please. You guys think in probabilities. I like it. You guys think in probabilities. Yeah, that's what it is. You guys think... Yeah, I'm not joking, guys. You guys think I'm actually fooling you guys right now at the moment? But either someone has my IP address, I'm not joking. The moment I said giveaway, my stream rocked it again. My stream started to trip again. Now I'm getting suspicious. Now I'm getting suspicious. Like, I'm not joking. Now I'm getting suspicious. Now we're gonna be quick. We're gonna be quick. Let's do it quickly right now. No way that this is gonna happen now. Let's do it quickly. Let's ask my friend Nightbot to do this giveaway with you guys now, ASAP. Gee, aren't you doing the weekly analysis anymore? I want to, however, I think it got heavily undervalued. That's my personal opinion, Maris. It got heavily underappreciated and undervalued. So that's why, you know? If I see that, then I'm like, at some point, you know, we have to make a decision right there, because I spend a lot of time on it every week for years. You know what I mean? Let's do the giveaway right now. Give me 1 second here. Let me set it up for you guys. Right there. Give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry, my food came in. Okay. Yeah, man, let's do the giveaway, my friends. Dollar has been in a range. Our limit order has been set. My limit order has been set clearly. We talked about the point of control to swing. It is actually respectfully strong, the VWAP. We have our bias. The bias is very clear for now, in my opinion. I don't think we have to deviate away from the bias. Yes, I think long-term, mid-term, sorry, we are still bearish. There is no, there's no doubt about that, right? We are still not out of the woodworks yet. The dollar is still holding up really well. We had a major expansion. The daily trend is super strong. But I think it's a time for a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a relief bounce on things like gold, the euro, things like that. So daily resistance at the daily highs, and also, of course, the daily supply zone sitting at like the previous resistance where we broke down from the NFP, right? So I would say medium term, we're bearish, short term, relief bounce type of market right now, okay? But we haven't broken the resistance and we're in the range. We're pretty flat for today's session. It's crazy how flat we actually are. But yeah, that is definitely what we're seeing right now, okay? Order flow wise, very similar. Market is relatively speaking flat. We have a lot of resistance to deal with. This is that resistance, but support as well. Support as well. Definitely a lot of sellers stepping in, being stuck, trapped in the market at the bottom. Especially when those sweeps came, a lot of sellers entered and now they are pretty much stuck in the position as well here. So yeah, interesting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give away 2 accounts. You guys have made the poll. 2 times 50K, FundedNext challenges. The Flex challenge right here. Okay. 2 times 50, it's a futures challenge, okay? You can learn about it right here. You go to fundednext.com/futures. You click on this and you can ask it anything, okay? Let me ask it a question right now. Let's see if it works, actually.
Hi, my name is Fundi. How can I help you today? Just so you know, I'm an AI assistant, and while I aim to be accurate, there might be a margin of error.
Yo, can you explain this challenge 50K for the people in the chat, please?
Sure thing. For the $5,000 challenge, the profit target is $3,000. The maximum loss limit is $2,000, and it trails behind your balance. There is no daily loss limit in the rapid model, but the consistency rule only kicks in once you are funded. You can pass as fast as 1 trading day. Is there anything specific about the rules you want to know more about?
Yeah, I want to get funded quickly, and I want to get a payout quickly as well. How long does the payout take, in general? Is it a long process or short?
To get funded quickly, the rapid model is your best bet since you can pass in just 1 trading day. Once you're funded, payouts are processed within 24 hours of you submitting the request from your dashboard. You will get a confirmation email and screenshot once the transfer is initiated. The actual arrival time depends on your payment method, but FundedNext guarantees the processing part is done within that 24-hour window. If they miss that deadline, they add $1,000 to your payout as compensation.
$1,000 as a compensation? Really?
Yes, that is correct. If FundedNext Futures fails to process your...
You guys heard it correctly, okay? Anyways, this AI works. I didn't know that before, never tried it before. It's pretty awesome, actually, if you ask me. Anyways, let's do the giveaway, my friends. The way it works, the way you can join is by the following here. You can actually pretty much click on funded challenge, and you only say it once in the chat. That's the way it works. You only say it once, funded challenge. Okay. And if you say it multiple times, you get kicked out of it. So you need to say it 1 time because we don't want to have spammers in the chat, right? Just say it once. You don't have to do it multiple times. No need, right? Just do it once. We're not here to like blow up the chat. We just want to do the giveaway properly. And this is the best way I've seen it. This is the easy way it works right there, okay? So if you have any questions about the challenge, you can ask it a question. And we go from there. We're going to do it twice. No crazy music today. We're just going to do it quickly because I have some issues with my stream. The moment I say giveaway, that is the moment when the stream starts lagging. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm, doing this on purpose. Pretty much. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's do one quick. Boom. Choose a winner. And the winner is Paul Gatogo. Okay, you are the winner number 1. Paul Gatogo. Let me know if you're here in the chat, please. Paul. Let me know where you're from. It sounds like a, what is it? An Italian name? No. It sounds like a African name. Correct? Gatogo. It sounds like you're from like Kenya or something like that. Or like, you know, something in Africa. Correct? Has to be. If it's Kenya, I'm a genius, by the way. That would be insane if I have this correctly. Let me know if you're here, my friend. We want to make sure that you reply because otherwise we have to give it to someone else. Let's give you a little bit more time. Let's see. Let's see if he's here. Paul, you're listening. Okay, while we're waiting for Paul, okay, let's do it one more time and re-roll another winner for the second one in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. And that's Sayan _100 SA. You won another challenge as well here, okay? Paul, number 1. All right, you are one of the first winners. I see you right now. Perfect. Number 1, Sayan _100 SA. Are you here, my friend? Let me know in the chat. Let's see if you're here. If not, Sayan SA here. He's here. Got you. Found you. Got it. Okay, perfect. Amazing, guys. Yeah, what do you need to do? You need to message me personally on Instagram. Okay? Message me on IG. Send me a message. I'll ask you a couple questions and we'll get it started, okay? If you want, of course, the challenge, just message your boy and we're gonna go from there. We'll make sure that you will get it sorted, okay? Awesome. All right. Okay, in terms of the trade, I'm gonna keep the limit order open. We have been practically flat in the range. This is where the resistance is at. A lot of resistance actually, okay? We have been rejecting there forever. If we can drop into that resistance there at the lows, I will be looking for a potential long. The VWAP has been holding respectfully long here. It has been a really slow session overall, but for me, it's pretty clear about what needs to happen on gold right now. At the same time, tomorrow, we don't have much news, but Wednesday, if I'm correct, we have the CPI. That's Wednesday, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do on Wednesday is I'm gonna also be trading the Asian session. So I'm gonna do an Asian session live stream for the first time ever. So if you can join the Asian session and you have the opportunity to join the Asian session, I recommend you to join the Asian session because you're dealing with price action that is gorgeous, okay? Movement, reactions, trends, not much manipulation, you name it, okay? It's all in there during the Asian session. So if you are there, you have time to trade the Asian session with me, then that could be a great session to watch on a Wednesday. It's gonna be my first session as well. I don't expect many people to be there because my audience is New York related, but it's worth giving it a go and having fun around the Asian session as well on a Wednesday, okay? Not for tomorrow though. Tomorrow is a regular New York session, trading session as well. The Wednesday is definitely something to pay attention to if you can, if you want to, okay? So what I can say is congratulations to the winners. All right. Looking forward to see what you guys can do if you guys can actually become funded. You know what I mean? Definitely looking forward to this. Anyways. Thank you, my friends. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, a lot of Asian session, guys. If you're from Singapore, Asia, Australia, maybe even Dubai, you should be able to join the Asian session too. If you're from Africa, you should be able to join the Asian session too. If you are from, you know, the Western Europe, it will be early. If you're from the United States, it will be perfect evening for you. Different story. Okay? All right, guys. I'm looking forward to see you there. Congratulations on the winners of the giveaway. You know where my limit order is. You know why I'm looking for this entry, etc. And now, I wish you a great session, a great rest of your day. And I appreciate all the support and love, as always, here. Join the live trading session. Join the education. Join the free education. Smash up that like button. And if you want to learn more about the volume profile and why we use these levels, etc., you can also download my free book. Okay? It's a free book. You don't have to pay for anything. You can download it right here. The link is in the description. And that is it. I'm going to be there for the next coming days, weeks, months ahead of us. All right? Much love, fam. And see you later. Yes. Thank you very much. Ciao.